Welcome to High Stakes. I'm your host, Tracey Devlyn. On this show, I chat with authors about the moments in their stories that change everything, what's at stake, what it costs, and why we can't look away. From thrillers to romance to sci-fi and beyond. Let's get to it. Joining me today is USA Today bestselling author Alexa Martin to talk about her new cowboy romance, By the Bootstraps. Such a great title. Welcome to the show, Alexa.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Oh, my pleasure. I have to say, this book is just pure joy.
Oh, thank
Um,
you.
I wasn't too far into the book, and I had to text my friend Adrian, and I told her, I'm like, you've got to grab this book
Oh,
because
thank
it's just,
you.
yeah, it's so much fun. You had me just smiling throughout the story, and yeah, it was just, Luna was just one of those individuals that I could, if she was like a real person, she would just light up the room every time
Oh,
you saw her,
thank you.
it's just wonderful, wonderful. So thank you for that. I wanted to
Thank
mention that
you.
right off the bat. So for those who might not have come across you yet, why don't you get us started and just tell us a little bit about yourself, if you don't mind?
So I'm Alexa Martin. I'm a romance and women's fiction author. This is, I think, my ninth book. I started writing sports romance. My husband played in the NFL for 8 or 9 years. And so I was like, let's turn that into something. And I've just kind of been writing ever since. I live in Texas now, which is, we just moved not too long before I started writing that book. And I was like, this place is wild. I have to use it as a setting for a book. And it's just me and my husband and our 4 kids.
Oh, that's great. I
Yeah.
think I saw on your website a picture of your family and you had these cute little jerseys on.
Oh,
Was
yeah.
that Green Bay
Yes.
Packers? Was that Green Bay?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I lived in Chicago for a number of years, and so you know how the Bears and the
Oh, my
Packers.
grandpa was a die-hard Bears fan. In the year my husband, they won the Super Bowl, but to get to the Super Bowl, they beat the Bears. And I was like, my grandpa is turning in his grave
Oh
right
yeah.
now. He is so upset.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It's funny too because it's not just a rivalry between the two different, Wisconsin and
Hmm.
Illinois. I had people in my office who
Yeah.
were
Yeah.
like very much in one camp or the other.
Yeah.
So it's pretty
Um,
crazy that
yeah.
rivalry between the two for sure.
Sports
So
fans.
that's
Yeah.
wonderful. Yeah, so did you move from Wisconsin down to Texas then?
We've moved all over the place.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say
Yeah,
that's
no.
probably is a little bit of a culture shock, I
Honestly,
imagine.
well, we moved to Mexico for a year.
Okay.
As my kids were kind of getting a little bit older, we wanted them to see another culture before they like
Yeah.
went to high school, and so we moved to Mexico in 2019. So we were there when COVID hit, and so
Oh
anywhere
gosh.
after. But I always tell my husband, I was like, I thought Mexico would be the culture shock, but it's Texas. I think Texas is a
Yeah.
bigger culture shock than even Mexico was. It is like its
Yeah.
own world down here.
Yeah. I have a friend who's, native Texan
Mm-hmm.
and it sounds like it's a country of its own
Yes,
down
it
there.
really
So funny.
is. It really is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. That's wonderful. Well, what can you tell us about Bootstraps? What can you tell us about this show? This is your first cowboy romance, like you were
Yes.
saying, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just, I wanted to do a cowboy romance. I mean, there are obviously a lot of diverse ones, but they're not necessarily what you see as much. And once I moved to Texas, I wanted it to be in the small town. I love like Lucy Score's books. I love the idea of this like small fictional town. And so when I came up with the name like Luna Star, it's just like, wouldn't it be so funny if she moved to Celestial and, it's just like chasing like stars and dreams. And it's just this really small, cute, fun town in the middle of Texas. She is kind of running away from her grief that had happened, and she decides to buy a house sight and scene in Celestial, Texas, and where she meets Tate and Silas, who are both twin brothers. She finds out, and after a house mishap, Tate helps her. He's the town handyman as well as the football coach, and he helps her kind of fix her house. And it's a little bit of forced proximity, very grumpy sunshine, small town cowboy goodness. Lots of all my favorite tropes.
Yes, yeah, they're great
thrown
ones. Yeah,
in.
yeah, yeah, you bet. Yeah, it's I was she has such a love of color, right? So Luna loves color, color,
Yes.
color. And I was thinking to myself, it was just a goofy thought, I know, but it's like I wonder if Alexa's love of pink has transferred over into Luna because Luna really loves pink.
Luna loves pink. It's well, I think a lot of it too is when you think of like especially Texas and like home renovation, you think of kind of Chip and Joanna Gaines, and
Right,
their
yeah.
aesthetic is very farmhouse white neutral. So I just thought it would be really fun to have somebody be full
Completely different.
maximalist, like throwing paint everywhere that she could, pink and
Yeah.
sparkles. And that's just kind of like her personality. She is
Yes.
very fun, but almost in a way that it kind of masks the other things she's going through. So it's like almost a little bit of a distraction, but as well as her finding the joy in the places that she can.
Yeah, no, it
Mhm.
was great. I mean, the whole bathtub
Yeah.
falling, I don't know. I probably should have said that. That might be a giveaway or spoiler or whatever. But yeah, in the chicken coop and everything, those were
Hmm.
just really, really lovely additions to the
Yeah.
story that really gave it a lot of
Thank you.
layering and that sort of thing. So it's great. And you surrounded Luna, I thought, by some really strong, supportive women. Was that by design, or did, Gabby and Sierra and Millie just kind of start showing up on the page?
I mean, well, in all of my books, I always say that I think the female friendship is just as important, maybe not even a little bit more important than the romance. I think it's so important for them to be well rounded characters. And also, I think one of the most fun parts about a new romance is calling your friends and telling them that you met this new cute boy and,
Yeah.
all of the things. But I will say this because this is a small town and she's new, there were more characters that kind of showed up, right? Because she already had her best friend from home, but so then she
Yeah.
needed her new friend here, and then Sierra showed up, and it was just kind of like there's more. It was very much the small town community bringing her in. So I think more characters popped up than I necessarily thought initially, but they were
Yeah.
all just so much fun to write.
They were. I bet the knitting scenes where she's in that
Mm-hmm.
knitting group, I bet you had a really good time.
I
And that
had
felt like you had a fun time while
I
you were
had
writing
the
it.
most fun. I was telling my husband the other day, I think my favorite scenes to write are when there's kind of like a grumpy older person there. It's my favorite thing to write.
Yeah.
They just say whatever they
Say
want,
whatever,
and it's
right?
just so
Yeah.
much fun. Yeah.
That's great. That's great. Well, we were talking about Texas, it being kind of its own thing, own country, its own,
Hmm.
very unique.
Yeah.
The setting in this story, it played a big factor,
Hmm.
and you gave us like a real sense of how tough the elements can be in
Mm,
Texas. But you also shared kind of its wild beauty
yeah.
too. And I was wondering if you could talk about that a little bit, if that's just from your own personal experience or, you know,
I think a mix
it-
of both. I did joke with my husband when we moved here that it was like driving a U-Haul straight into hell because we moved here in July and it was so
oh
hot. And
my
I was like,
gosh.
I don't know how we're supposed to handle this. It is so hot here. So the hot jokes are like the heat jokes are always just like right there and easy to play on. But once you're kind of able to move past that, there is this beauty. And we moved here from Nashville, which is very green and hilly and lots of
Mm,
trees. And so it's a very stark difference. And you kind of have to I feel like kind of look for the beauty at a certain point. But then, like, once you see it, you can't unsee
mhm,
it. Like, the big fields and the sunsets are incredible. And, like, we live in the suburb, like, city, but like, I can drive 10 minutes down the street and find longhorns roaming by,
uh,
the fence line.
yeah.
And it is just, it's like very beautiful, and again, like it's just like a place of its own, which was
Hmm.
is I think the most important part of setting is to make it feel like it can like jump out, and so to be able to find that in Texas was really nice.
Have you been able to get out of the city enough to have an experience like Luna did in the field where she could look up and see the stars and things?
Not
Or,
No, not
yeah.
fully. Hopefully though I will be able to. I keep saying that like I really want to take my family to like a dude ranch and do something like
Oh my
that.
gosh. Yeah.
um
Yeah.
but it is, we have four kids and all, like it's hard to kind of get that
Yeah.
piece anywhere.
Right, right, right. Yeah, I
Yeah.
gotcha. I gotcha. Well, on this show, we like to talk about a story stakes. I always joke, love, death, the fate of the realm are all high
Mm,
stakes in a story.
yes.
But what I'd like to hear your thoughts on, what was personally at stake for Luna in the story?
And so Luna's dealing with a lot of her grief. Her mom had passed away, and just kind of her coming to terms with it and accepting it. And by accepting it is also allowing herself to feel all of her feelings. So I think for
Mm,
her, what was really state is kind of living her life happily and not repeating like those same mistakes and going down that tunnel, right? Like she could, there's a cycle that she could either repeat or break. And if
right.
she didn't kind of come to terms and learn how to view grief and accept everything in a way that she's not beating herself up for those feelings, right? Even if they're not necessarily what is socially acceptable when we talk about grief and the
Yeah.
loss. So for her, it was kind of allowing herself to be and allowing herself to feel, even when it was really messy and ugly.
Mm, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of messy, a few, not a lot, a few messy scenes in the
Oh
story for
yes,
sure.
mm-hmm. It's yeah. I always say my if it's a Alexa Martin book, somebody's gonna be real messy. like nobody has their stuff together.
Yeah, I really enjoyed how you at the very beginning of the story how you had this play off of Tate and Silas and you know you, you kind of know as a reader which way it's going to go. All you have to do is read the blurb,
Yeah.
right?
Yes. Yeah.
So, but you did. It was this nice kind of okay, will she,
Mm-hmm.
won't she? Which one is she going to select kind of
Yeah.
thing. And so I thought that was a lot of fun. Is that the first time you've done that, or is that
Yes. And it was really
okay?
hard.
Yeah,
I had to
yeah, I
like was
bet.
telling my friend all the time, was just like, I don't know the balance. Like, because I
Yeah.
wanted I always say like I want like a little bit like of a grumpy baby alpha, but it's just like the second I get in there, I want them to just be like, "We love you so much, you're perfect."
I know, right? I know
It's
it's hard to
so
make
hard.
them
Mm-hmm.
bad and
Yeah.
bad, quote
Yeah.
unquote
I'm like,
bad. Yeah.
flaws. What's the point of a romance novel if they have flaws?
Right, right, right. Yeah, conflict, it's a beautiful
Yeah.
thing. Everybody
Mm-hmm.
loves it, but it's really hard to write.
Really hard. Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll switch gears just a little bit and
Mhm.
talk about you and your writing process, if
Okay.
you don't mind.
Yeah.
What is a favorite place that you like to write? You had mentioned you have a big, a big, beautiful family. So do you
Mhm.
have a place that you can kind of get away and
I
write?
have, I love writing at a coffee shop. I think it's like when
Okay.
I feel the most like I'm like living my writer dream is when I can just
Yeah.
like go to a
Yeah.
coffee shop and write. And there's a coffee shop not far from us called Marty B's. And well, I don't know if I should. Their coffee is okay, but they have the
It-
best seating and like I
ah,
like lots of really comfy chairs, lots of outlets, and I can just and they're open late, so I can just go in the morning and I can stay till 9 o'clock and just get
oh,
all of
nice.
my writing done during the day. That's my favorite place. And then also I'm in my room, also in my bed, which
Okay.
can
Yeah.
be dangerous, but my office doesn't have a door. Not that my door discourages my children. I always have to like tell them my like the lock is not a challenge for you to open it. It's a request for privacy. like I don't want I'm
That's,
not testing your lock picking skills. So not
yeah.
that my door really deters them, but my office does not have one. So it's if my kids are home from school, it's nothing is getting done. I have
Yeah.
worked out with my publisher now that my deadlines are kind of after school starts or before school ends. I can't do anything. If it's due in September, you're not getting it for an extra
Yeah.
month and a half. I
Yeah.
can't get anything done
Yeah.
during the summer. But yeah, no, I love writing at a coffee shop. I always have. It's my favorite thing to do. I like to get a little sweet coffee and a little treat and write.
Yeah, no, that's great. So you can get your day's worth of writing done within that. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not sure when you start, but
Yeah.
from like 6 to 9 or something like
Yeah,
that is,
usually I
yeah,
can.
yeah,
If depending on the scene, there's
Yeah.
I just turned in my draft of my next book, and there was a scene where it's like, oh yeah, I'll be great, I'll knock it out. And it took me like 2.5 days to write. And I was like, what is
Don't you love those?
happening? Yeah, I was just like, I can't do it. Eventually I just had to move on. But I was just
Yeah.
like, this one is killing me. But for if things go really well, I can usually get a solid amount done. I think it's also not being home, because if I'm at home, I'm like, oof, I should do that
There's
laundry.
so many other
Or
things
yeah, there's so many other things
that
that pull me.
yeah.
And so it's nice to be out of the house where I only have one thing to focus on.
Yeah. Do you have a particular word count that you like to try and hit
I
on a
usually
daily basis or
I usually can keep it on the lower side. Like if I can get 2,000 words in a day, it's like
yeah.
I'm happy. But thankfully with my son always just he's always he I told him, I was like, oh, this book's not done for, it's not due for a year. This was a while ago. And he's like, oh, so you'll start writing it in like 10 months. I was like, first of all, how dare you? But yes, also you're right.
You know me so well. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So this last book, I was able to, once I got over those chapters that were like really hard, I was able to hit a solid 5 to 6,000. I'm not the fastest writer. I always see the people that can do, 6 to 10,000 words in a day. I'm like, how are you doing that?
Yeah.
But yeah, I usually try to keep it. I'm like, if I get 2,000 a day, I'm happy. If I can get more than that, then that's even better. But I try to keep
Yeah.
it not too strict.
Well, I'm in awe of anybody who can do 2000. So it's just, yeah, I'm a slow writer. So
It's
I just,
hard.
oh my
Mhm.
gosh. Yeah. Yeah. I wish I could do 2000. That would be,
Yeah.
I've done it, but it's
Yeah.
not something I can do
Yes.
on a daily basis.
Hmm.
It
Yeah.
just wrings me out. But I
Yes.
think that's a really good thing for we obviously have a lot of writers who watch the show as well. And I think it's a good thing to hear that you were able to work with your publisher on your deadline. So we
Hmm.
writers, especially I think romance writers, I think we get really caught up in we got to do this, this, and this. We
Hmm.
have to hit that deadline, and we live by the rules kind of
Yeah.
thing. But I think it's really good to hear that when you had something that wasn't working with you, that you had a great publisher editor who said, "Okay, yeah, no, fine. Let's
Yeah.
let's change it up so that it works for you as well." So I
Yeah.
think
It
that's
definitely took me a while. I've been really lucky to where I have been, my editor now is the first editor I ever had. I've just been with her the entire time. So it took me a while. I think it took until this last contract probably for me to be like,
mm,
hey, I can't do this. And I mean, it's better for both of us because then she's not like, hey, where's
oh
the
yeah.
draft?
Oh yeah,
Um, but
absolutely.
it took me a while to kind of even understand that. And I also, there's the thing where you write and you have other responsibilities where when my kids were younger, and I was like, once they go to school, I'll be good. But it's just like, there's maybe even more to do now that they're older that I wasn't accounting for. And it's just, it was me
Yeah.
beating myself up all the time. Like, why was I able to do it then, but I can't do it now? And just kind of
Yeah.
being like, give yourself a break and find a way where, because you can't write like that either. You can't write
Right.
when you're that
Yeah.
stressed and like
No.
angry at yourself.
It,
It
and it,
taps into
it's
your
not
creativity.
it's not a joyful process at that point
Mm-hmm.
then, is it? It's
Yes.
just it feels like an obligation, and that's
Yes.
that's not why we became writers in the first
Yes.
place. We
Mm-hmm.
we want to enjoy what we're doing. There's nothing wrong with
Yes.
that.
Yeah,
So I'm
totally.
glad that you were able to work that out.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. So whenever you finish a book, how do you celebrate or treat yourself, or do you?
I like to stay in my bed. I like tell my kids, I'm like,
Okay.
I want to, what I tell with this book, I just turned it in on Monday. And I was
Oh,
just like,
yay.
yeah, thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you so
Yes,
much.
wonderful.
I was just like, I want to lay in bed and I want to watch all of the Hunger Game movies. And they were like,
Oh, I
all of
love
them. And
it.
I was like, yeah, and I don't want to get out of bed. That's all I want to do. I want to sleep and I want to have a day of just watching the TV that I haven't watched while I've been
Yeah,
writing this.
that's
And
great.
and
Yes, I
probably
love it.
reading something really great too. It's harder for me to read as I'm writing, especially
Mm,
within my genre,
right.
because I don't want to accidentally like lift an idea, and then I also don't want the other thing to happen where I like read it and I'm like, oh, I'll never be able to
I
write
know.
like this.
Oh, I know. It's such a horrible feeling,
Yeah,
isn't it? Because then people are reading your book. It's like, oh my gosh, why can't I write
yeah,
like this? So we never think about that, but
yeah.
it's
I
for
yeah.
sure true.
Mhm.
What is one thing that readers might be surprised to learn about you?
About me, oh gosh,
Mhm.
I don't know. I feel like there's not much that's that
You're an open
Surprising.
book.
I mean, I don't know if I'm an open book, but I'm not that excited.
Ah,
I'm like, I'm trying to think. I'm not sure. I don't know. Maybe but I don't think this is like a surprise. But I feel like when I started writing and I looked at people that had been in it for so long, right? Like I'm with my same publisher, I'm with my
yeah,
editor. This is my ninth book. I just turned in my 10th. I still have that like crisis of confidence every single
ah,
time. I
yeah.
still am just like, oh, is this I have this like perpetual fear in the back of my head where it's like, was my debut the best I'll ever be? Like, am I
Yeah.
getting better? Am I getting worse? And so that like I did sign up for a writing class last fall to like try to like feel like stronger as a writer. I don't know if that's really a surprise. I feel like everybody, I mean, maybe not everybody. I feel like a lot of people that I know struggle with that same thing. So I don't know if it's a surprise, but I think when I
I
started
think
writing,
writers
yeah,
understand it, but
mm-hmm,
readers might not understand it. That
yeah,
might be a surprise
mm-hmm,
for your readers. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, because
just
your writing is so good. I
thank
think it
you. I
will surprise a
appreciate
lot of
that.
people
Thank
that
you.
you have this confidence issue sometimes. So
Thanks.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, before we go, can you share what's coming up next?
What's coming up? So this book comes out May 26th. So that's like
Yes.
now. And then I just turned in the second book, which is the second book in this series. So this is actually going to be a
Ah,
series.
okay. Okay.
And so the second book is going to be Silas's book. He's the
I
brother.
was wondering. Okay. All right.
And it's so sweet and so fun. And I
Is it going to be
actually,
a reunion book?
second chance, baby.
There we go. All right. I thought so. All right.
Yeah, and so it's really fun. And then I have to talk to my editor too before I start the third book, but I know what I want to write, so I just have to kind of make sure we're all on the same page. So I don't
Yeah.
think I can talk about that one yet, but the next book is going to be Silas's book, Silas
Oh,
and
great.
Palmer, and it's just very I love their book a lot.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we will
Mhm.
keep an eye. I assume it'll
Thanks.
come out about this time next year, maybe somewhere in there.
Fingers crossed. I honestly
Yeah.
have no idea. The publishing world changes so much. When I
Yeah.
first started and I wrote a series, they were coming out I would say like 70, like less than a year apart. And now I think
Mm,
it's a little more space, which is nice. But I've been doing standalone. So this is my return to a series. So we'll see how it
yeah.
goes. But yeah, I'm
Great.
excited.
Great, great. Sounds exciting. All right, great. Well, folks, be sure to order your copy of By the Bootstraps today. You can learn more about Alexa by visiting her website at alexamartin.com, where you'll find all of her social media links. Alexa, thank you so much for joining me today. It was a real treat to have you on.
Thank you so much. I had so much fun.
That's it for today's high stakes story. Follow the show so the next episode lands right in your feed. And if you enjoyed today's chat, a quick rating or review helps new listeners find us. Visit tracydevlyn.com/podcast for show notes and links to today's amazing guest and their fabulous book. High Stakes is a proud member of the Authors on the Air Global Radio Network. Thanks for listening. Until next time, enjoy the adventure, everyone.